What's up everybody, another beautiful day in Azeroth, and here's how to defeat Mythic Broodtwister in Nerub'ar Palace. Quick shout out to Avocado and the Raid Leader Exchange Discord for help with the strats. Can greatly recommend the RLE Discord for anything raiding and strategy related. Setup wise, you want 2 or 3 tanks, 3 healers, and 14 or 15 DPS. Yes, like Frost DK, Fury Warrior, etc. Anything that can dish out massive amounts of AoE while still doing good boss damage are great for this encounter. For this fight, currently you need to have 2 tank mass grips to cover all egg breaks. This can be either 2 Blood DKs or 1 Blood DK, 1 Vengeance Demon Hunter, or 2 Vengeance Demon Hunters. Now if you 2 tank, then both tank needs to be fully geared and know what they're doing. The boss slaps. And if you 3 tank, then one of the Blood DKs or Vengeance Demon Hunters can be someone's shitty ult, as it is mainly there to grip and help with some adds. But if you bring 2 questionably geared grip tank ults, you're gonna have a bad time. You'll also need a Weakaura for this fight, linked in the description below. This is for egg breaks, as they require a lot more coordination on Mythic. This Weakaura assigns players targeted by experimental dosage to a marked egg, and on Mythic 8 players get dosage, and each egg requires 2 dosages to hatch. So dosages goes out and assigns 2 players to each egg that needs to break. There's also a lot more eggs overall on Mythic, so most of the time you break double eggs, requiring the targeted player to position themselves so they hit both eggs near their mark, preferably without hitting the other player. Very important to note, if you have to choose between cracking an egg or not getting hit by your friend's circle, always go for the egg. You can survive the dosage, but you will always wipe if you break the wrong egg or miss a break. Always. On Mythic, when Broodtwister ingests black blood, boss mutates all eggs corresponding to that side. So if you start on parasite side, all parasites on all sides are permanently mutated. And if you go to spider side next, then all spiders and parasite adds are mutated on all remaining sides. For the last one, you will have all adds mutated. Yay! Due to this, each set of egg breaks needs to be done in a specific way to not get overrun by parasites or get bombarded by worm poison burst. Starting off, assign 3 groups of interrupters for the worms, each corresponding to a different mark like skull, cross, and square. Now you'll have between 2 and 3 worms up with each set of eggs, and you'll need 4 to 5 interrupts for each worm. Now I recommend turning off DBM or Bigwig's automark for worms, as it can change marks from pull to pull. Instead, one of the first interrupters in each group use this macro, and you swap the number depending on what mark you want to apply. Way the first interrupter always marks that ad, so as long as they know what worm is theirs, it gets way more consistent. Then you need a chain of crowd control for each set of parasites, 1 or 2 knockbacks per set of ads. This should be a druid or evoker knockback. They are up for each set of eggs, and the Weakaura will always assign evokers to green egg and druids to purple egg, which is where they're going to knock from. This needs to be followed by mass grip or sigil of chains into stuns. Use suppressive roar if possible into leg sweep, nova, shockwave. If you have an elemental shaman, they can solo stun every pack if talented for cooldown reduction. Important to keep in mind, this order of crowd control is so they don't get DR too fast, so you always want to start with your longest stuns. This fight is all about cracking the correct adds and handling the chain of crowd control correctly, so players don't get infested, unless you wanna pass. So this is where your focus should be during prog, mastering the eggs so you're not scrambling to beat them. So pretty much right before dosages goes out, everyone should check where all the marked eggs are. It's a lot harder to find eggs if you start looking when dosages have gone out. If you're marked, move to your assigned egg. If Weakaura yells star, move to star marked egg. And as soon as they hatch, start the crowd control chain immediately. Knocks into grip into crowd control, blood decays. Make sure to always grip on top of yourself rather than on boss to position parasites better. This is due to egg breaks, and for example, leg sweep are exactly 50 seconds apart. So if you're slow on one set of ads, your next set of crowd control will be delayed. Now for these sticky webs, there's a Weakaura you can use, linked in the description. Using that and a macro, players can ping healers when they're safe for dispel. Every class except Rogue and Evoker has a way to deal with these. Some can pre-immune like DK pre-AMS, Warlock pre-Soulburn and Circle, as well as Paladin pre-Freedom. And for Paladins, you always want to freedom your Evoker before webs go out, so they're always able to knock back their parasites. Every class that can break their own web needs to always do so. You just want to make sure you're safe so you don't root other players. Now, before webs go out, everyone should spread a bit to avoid having multiple overlapping circles. Lastly, before we break down the fight one egg at a time, tanks, you want to make sure you don't have any healing reduction debuff from the spider while taking Broodtwister's volatile concoction, or you or the raid will die. Tanks takes a massive damage from this, and the raid will wipe if tanks aren't topped when this goes off, so be ready to prio heal tanks and help out with externals during triple spider egg breaks, as tanks will get absolutely trucked during them. And you want to make sure to always position Broodtwister so it or its tail doesn't cover any of the eggs you're about to break. With that said, let's break down all the egg breaks. Which eggs, where to move, and what to knock. On pull, you want to drag boss to the parasite side of the room first. Prio damage is always boss, and you cleave off from boss constantly, saving big AoE cooldowns for parasites. But the main focus is boss and cleave everything down, moving the boss and spider from worm to worm. For the first egg break, you want to take a crack at these eggs. Cue the picture. You will get 3 parasites, 2 spiders, and 2 worms. All parasites are mutated. Keep boss in the middle of these eggs. Then you want to knock back purple and green parasites in towards boss, script into crowd control. Then move boss and spider to worm after parasites are dead. For the second egg break, you get 3 parasites, 2 spiders, and 2 worms. Deal with them the same as the first set. Third egg break, you get 2 parasites, 1 worm, 1 spider, and you keep the boss in the middle of these eggs. Knock purple marked parasites into boss and grip into crowd control. Moving over to the spider side, when these eggs are done, the first egg break on spider side, you get 2 parasites, 3 spiders, and 2 worms, so healers beware. All spiders and parasites are now mutated. You want to knock green marked parasites to boss and grip into crowd control. Finish off green worm, then move to orange worm. For the second egg break, you get 2 parasites, 2 spiders, and 3 worms. Keep boss between star and orange and knock green marked parasites towards star worm. You want to make sure it dies fast before the black blood reaches it. Then you want to move to purple worm after the parasites have died. Third egg break, 3 spiders, 1 parasite. Keep boss next to parasites and tank spiders on top of boss when they hatch. Moving over to the worm side, now all ads will be mutated, and more importantly all worms, so you need lightning fast interrupts. The first set is the hardest ad set of the entire fight, and this is where you should use Bloodlust so you're able to get all the worms down. You get 2 spiders, 2 parasites, and 3 mutated worms. Keep boss between the marked eggs towards the orange mark. Knock purple and green parasite in towards boss and grip into crowd control. Focus down the orange worm, then green into purple. Depending on your overall DPS, you might be able to skip the second and third egg set on the worm side. If not, the second set of egg breaks, you get 3 parasites, 2 spiders, and 2 worms. Keep boss in between marked eggs, knock purple and green towards boss and grip on tank towards star marked worm. Finish off worm, then cleave down the circle. And for the very last set, you get 3 worms, 1 spider. Keep interrupting the worms and just burn down boss. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Mythic Broodtwister. long rant got long, but there's a lot of steps in this fight. Now, if you have any questions at all, hit me up in the comments. Check out my Patreon, Twitch sub, or YouTube membership if you want to help support the channel. You gain access to the Stankie Discord, you can get shoutouts and videos, and it is the fastest way to get a hold of me. The usual stuff: like, comment, subscribe, slap that notification bell. Thank you all for watching. I will see you next time.